Today, I would like to explain to you how to use the Neewer Z2 on a camera and which functions you can set here. In the following video, I will also show you how you can use the flash unleashed from the camera, for example, in a softbox. Once you have attached the flash to the camera and locked it, you can switch on the camera and the flash. To do this, briefly press and hold the small button in the center of the dial. On the left side of the Neewer Z2, you have a switch with which you can quickly switch between manual mode and ETTL. Alternatively, you can also press the mode button to switch to multi-mode. You can trigger a test flash using the red flash button and control the modeling light using the right button with the light bulb. Now, you can set the desired intensity with the rotary wheel and then confirm again with the button. By holding down this button, you can also set whether you want to use the upper or lower modeling light. You can use the wireless button to control whether the flash should act as a slave or master in untethered mode. But as we are only using it on the camera here, we don't need these settings, and I leave wireless set to off. The top 4 function buttons are mode dependent and have different functions in multi, ETTL, and manual mode. Let's take a look at manual mode first. Here, if nothing else is selected, we can use the setting wheel to select the flash output as a fraction. We have the maximum power at 1 and the lowest at 1/256. With the first function button, we can now set the focal length for which the flash should illuminate. Bear in mind that with crop cameras, the full-frame equivalent focal length is always specified here. If you have set a shorter focal length than your lens corresponds to, you are wasting power because you are illuminating more of the surroundings than necessary. If, on the other hand, you set a focal length that is too long, the peripheral areas may not be illuminated, and you will get a vignette effect. If your camera recognizes the focal length of your lens, you can simply set the setting to automatic. You can use the second setting button to set the S1 and S2 modes. However, these do not play a role in flash mode on the camera, and therefore remain deactivated. The third button can be used to select high speed mode or synchronization for the second shutter curtain. If none of these are activated, the flash will not allow you to expose faster than 1/182nd for synchronization reasons. If you switch to high speed mode, significantly faster shutter speeds are also possible. This function can be useful, for example, if you use the flash to brighten up with the sun as backlight. The other function allows you to set slower shutter speeds with the flash at the end of the exposure. For example, you can photograph light paintings such as moving cars, whose headlights then draw trails, and the car at the end of the trail can still be seen in focus thanks to the triggering flash. With the last button, you can activate the flash to help the camera focus in poor lighting conditions by briefly illuminating the surroundings while focusing. Next, let's take a look at the ETTL mode. In this mode, the flash automatically selects the intensity for an optimally lit image. Similar to a camera in automatic mode, it does this by firing 2 flashes in quick succession, which cannot be distinguished from each other with the naked eye. It uses the first flash to measure the effect on the exposure of the image, and then adjusts the second flash so that the image has the correct brightness as perceived by the flash. If you find the result too bright or too dark, you can counteract this with the selection dial, similar to the camera's exposure compensation. Most of the other buttons have the same functions in this mode as in manual mode. However, the second setting button no longer controls the S1 and S2 modes, which are not available in ETTL. Instead, you can now use it to activate flash exposure bracketing, which is a series of exposures using the flash. Here you can set the number of f-stops by which the exposure should be increased or decreased. The camera then takes a picture with the normal flash intensity, then one with the reduced intensity, and then one with the increased intensity. With the last mode, multi, several flashes can be recorded during a single exposure. This is therefore particularly suitable for somewhat slower shutter speeds and can also be used more creatively, similar to the previously mentioned FEB function. With the second function button, you can set how many flashes should be fired in succession, and with the third button, you can set the frame rate. That is how quickly the flashes should fire in succession. To ensure that your exposure is not too short for the set flash sequence, the minimum shutter speed should always be the number of flashes divided by the selected frame rate. You can access the main menu for all flash settings by holding down the first function button. I won't go into this in detail now, as most of the points are self-explanatory anyway. Otherwise, you can always lock your currently selected settings by briefly holding down the Mode button. You can also unlock them again in the same way. If you want to switch off the flash, you have to press and hold the small button in the middle of the dial. Apart from this, there is also a connection for a synchronization cable and a USB-C connection for possible updates under the cover on the left-hand side. However, you cannot charge the flash via this port. To do this, you have to remove the battery on the other side by pressing the small lever downwards. The flash head can of course also be rotated and tilted. I hope I have explained the individual functions well and correctly. If you have any questions or if I have explained something incorrectly, please let me know in the comments. By the way, you will soon find the video for the corresponding remote shutter release here. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed the video and I'll see you again in one of my next videos. Until then, take care and goodbye.